Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Cocktail Hour. I am Meg.
And I'm Nikki. And if you are a wedding vendor heading to a wedding this weekend, this episode is dedicated to you.
Now, today we're talking all about editing and how much is too much. And it's not even about the actual coloring, because I think we've made it clear how we feel about like overly crazily edited photos. But we'll get into it. The first thing, my favorite thing, the pre-episode yap.
I'm writing mine.
I see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay, I'll do mine then. Oh, okay.
I'm going to think of what I did.
I'm going to start off talking about what we were going to talk about prior to starting the episode, which is I'm in the season of getting shit done.
Good for you.
So what I mean by that, though, is if I think of something in the moment, I try to do it right away. Just get it done, because I have a really bad habit of creating lists upon lists. They're written down at my desk. They're written in my planner. They're on my notes app. They're on my reminders app. Like I have a running list. Too. Yes. I'm always thinking of 80 things to do. So Nikki and I were talking about a task, and I was like, I'm just going to do it right now. And then I had to take a beat and be like, okay, it's
early
50 in the morning. Yeah, it's early. I don't have the mental capacity to do this well. So let me take a beat. But the reason I was about to jump into that is because I'm just trying to get shit done. The way that I have been sitting down every day and editing 10 plus hours a day, I've put on Law and Order. And I tell myself, like, every photo done is one less photo to get out to your couple.
I really like that.
Just get it done. Just like, and all of a sudden you're 900 through and you're like,
and you're almost done.
Exactly. So we're in the season of getting shit done, because before we know it, it's going to be winter. And yeah, like the season, I even looked at Adam. This is his first wedding season where he was not working a corporate job, and he's been like helping me out. And I asked him, I said, did this summer go by fast? He said, faster than any summer of my entire lifetime.
It goes by in the blink of an eye. Like, I don't even feel like I had summer.
No.
Like, I don't remember it. It came and went.
Yeah. Adam and I have memberships at Lifetime Fitness, and there's a great pool, outdoor pool. It opens on Memorial Day and it closes on Labor Day. I did not go one time.
Can't think if I sat at a pool at all this year.
No, one time. And that's why I'm so hell-bent on going to Vegas this month, because I'm like, no, I'm going to a warm climate. I'm going to sit by a pool.
I am so
with
excited.
Some cocktails. Yeah, we need the break. And unfortunately, is it happening during wedding season? Yes, but there's no other time.
During the week.
Yeah, that's true.
No one's going to know.
Yeah, it is during the week. Okay, what else happened this week? I feel like not a whole lot happened personally for me. But I had a wedding on Saturday. We both did, and we both had to witness Minnesota weather being a huge twat.
I wish you guys could see my face. I'm
just
twitching.
If you are not from Minnesota or weren't in the Minneapolis area, when I tell you it would downpour for 30 minutes and then be somewhat sunny, like
for 5,
sunny to the point where you go, oh, clearly the rain's done.
Yeah,
it's bright,
it's not coming back.
Blue sky, sunny, and then all of a sudden downpouring again,
and not light rain.
No,
downpouring with wind.
Yeah. So imagine trying to work through a wedding day schedule timeline, trying to make sure you're getting portraits, trying to make sure you're getting family photos, ceremony, all this stuff. But
I have PTSD from Saturday.
It was
the
rough.
Weather really.
I am very lucky that I had a very flexible timeline on Saturday, more so than I've ever had, to the point where we had 3 hours before the ceremony for photos. I needed maybe 45 minutes total of like, I even looked at the couple.
I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up. I'm getting riled up.
That's fair. Could have been there with me, but
riled up. I was serving my couples in the best way that I could.
You were.
Yeah.
It was, and here's what I'll also say about your location that you were at. It's rough because there's not a lot of great locations immediately outside of the venue.
None.
I was lucky because literally, oh, it stopped raining, pop outside 5 feet away for 10 minutes. Now I got to pop inside. Your venue, like the area around it, you could take a car ride for 5 blocks and find a nice park or something, but like you can't just pop outside quick. And that's rough.
And we did, though.
Yeah.
We had to. And it was an overhang. You know.
Yeah. Do what you can do.
You got to. And also your getting ready location looked beautiful.
Oh, that was their house.
Yeah. How nice.
When I tell you, shout out to my couple's parents. This house I roll up.
Where was it?
In Edina.
Okay. Yeah. Like
But
50th and France Edina.
Well, yes, but the address was literally like 5.
Yeah.
It was, I roll up to this neighborhood and I go, I'm going to get arrested. They, like, I'm not.
Surely you and your Subaru.
Nope. That's how low class me and my Subaru were in this neighborhood. I go, I am not meant to be here. It was so nice. And the dad, he's into photography. They just got back from Africa.
Cool.
He's asking me all these questions. They were the sweetest fucking family in the world. Literally, I'm doing the flat lay and the dad comes by. He's like, do you have enough light? Like, just let me know if you need me to like move furniture around for a different space. And I was like, oh my God. Again, this house, ginormous. So I asked the bride while she's getting ready, I said, girl, did you grow up in this house? I said, the mayhem I would have caused as a teenager in this home. And she laughed and she's like, no, I grew up in a much smaller house. She's like, my parents just bought this 2 years ago. So I got to be honest, I started making fun of the parents. I said, this is the house you bought 2 years ago?
They're treating themselves.
Literally. The dad's like, I know it's like 3 times bigger than our last house. And I was like, but another thing.
They might have made more money later in life. And then they were like, you know what? It's time to treat.
Yeah. Like before we pass, we're going to go
Mommy
all
and
out.
Daddy deserve the goods.
And a huge thing that I will call out that I thought was very endearing that I saw, because, you know, you never know when you walk into a house. So many pieces of art that you could tell were collected up within their travels. Like,
oh, cool.
I don't want to say like African artifacts because like obviously it's not an artifact, but you can tell they went to local artists in these countries that they're visiting and these continents they're going to, and they're bringing this stuff back, and tons of books on the shelves, like a library of books. And it's like history of humanity and like learning from our past.
Cool.
Like it just seemed like a very well-rounded group of people. Very nice, very well-rounded, very kind.
Love.
And I was like, I feel very welcomed at this home. Yeah, it was very, very beautiful. And I didn't see most of it. I saw like 5 rooms.
You
out
saw
of
the
15.
staircase. Yeah.
Yeah. It was phenomenal.
Stunning.
What else? Okay, we already talked about my editing dash. I'm literally every day I'm getting a gallery out. I'm sitting down. Now, mind you, for any of my couples listening to this, I do not rush through galleries. But what luckily ends up happening is Adam goes through each one of your photos and takes out little pesky exit signs and does this and that and the other. And he spends probably 15 hours per gallery doing that so that when I get it, I can just focus on the color grading and the lighting and everything. And having 2 people edit the gallery has been amazing.
Let me hire him.
No, literally. It saved me so much time. So that's been great. But trying to get galleries out to couples, I've been playing tennis a lot more at Lifetime. I just go play with the ball machine typically. But there is this old man named Doug, got to be 97 years old. This man, barely there.
Older than Papa?
Just as old as Papa. Moves about the same pace, but he starts playing tennis.
Papa can move.
Andre Agassi, this man. Literally, he's schooling me at tennis, and I go, you're barely breathing, but you're schooling me. Like, he's got such precision. He's been working on it for 117 years.
That's why he's still alive.
He's so good at it, but he's so sweet. Every time he sees me, I'm shocked every time that I see him that he's still living, but he's so nice. He's like, Meg, you want to play?
He's probably 67 years old, and you're like, this old?
He's an old 67 then. But every time I see him, I think he gets there at 5 a.m, because
and
old
stays
people
all day.
and he stays all day and he just plays with people who are playing by themselves. No, I think it's super sweet. That's why anytime he goes like, you want to play? I'm like, yeah, let's play. Kick my ass, make me feel bad.
That is so cute.
But he changed my life. I know this is going to sound crazy because for the listener, you can't see my hand. But like how I hold my racket, it's a little like if the racket's straight, right? I hold it a little bit curved, which means that when I go to hit it, the ball's naturally going to go into the net.
Yeah, it's going to go down right.
And he told me, because he's like, there's different holds or different like grips that people have on their racket. And he like told me some, I don't know, tennis player that does mine. And he said, so what that means is when you go down to hit, he said, you need to like scoop it. He said, you can't just hit it. You have to scoop it up and follow through. And he said, you will have such a well, he didn't say diabolical. I don't remember what he said, but he's like, you will have such a shot because he's like, he says, if you can master that shot, it's perfect. And so I started practicing with the ball machine. Scoop. And I literally say that word to myself every time I go to hit it. Scoop, scoop, scoop. And I'm hitting these balls and I'm like, these are Serena Williams zooming across the net, just slicing right across the net.
Skimming it.
So I'm waiting to play Adam because before he was beating me because I was 80 pounds heavier and I couldn't make it through an entire set. And now I'm going to kick his ass.
And now you got scoop.
Can't wait. And we already talked about season of getting shit done. I don't feel like anything else.
Perfect. So Saturday, I got my period at this wedding.
On top of how crazy the weather was. I think for me, maybe I'm not a normal lady because I don't typically know the moment I get my period.
Oh, I know. So, okay, here's the thing. I started spironolactone, which is not actually traditionally an acne medication. It's a kidney medication, and it's also a heart blood pressure medication oftentimes, but I use it for hormonal acne. And so last week after we recorded, I was like, damn, I'm peeing so much. Remember, I almost peed my pants twice. Well, I thought about it this week and then I was doing some research and I don't know why I forgot this, but the medication that I'm on is a diuretic. So I'm peeing way more than normal and way more than the average person. Like it essentially, for women with hormonal acne, the reasoning they think is like it's like lowering your testosterone basically, so you don't have as much testosterone. And women who take it often say like, yes, it helps with my skin, which is great because when you have hormonal acne, it's, you know, because your hormones are crazy. But they also say like it helps your hair growth and it just makes you appear more feminine. A lot of women with polycystic ovarian syndrome take it to help with a lot of the symptoms that you get with that as well.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone saying it in full like that.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
It took me a second.
PCOS.
Derek Shepard, doctor over here.
MD. So I've been taking it and I have noticed an improvement in my skin, an improvement, blah, blah, blah. But it can also throw off your period. So I got my period a whole week early. Typically, when I'm not on meds, like my period comes on the same day of the same month, every single month usually, which is great. I'm very normal girly. I have been more stressed. I have been more, you know, agitated recently. There's just a lot going on. And so I got my period a week early and I'm texting Meg. I'm like, what are the chances that I get my period at a wedding? And Meg's like, well, because you're a lady, it seems about right because you get your period on average of once a month. Yeah, I didn't text back.
She didn't?
I did not.
Which is funny because I text her that, like, I thought it was funny. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's probably likely. Here no she is, like, she's
fighting for my life.
I'm
fighting like, for my life on Saturday. Fighting for my life. And so what I mean, though, is that so this has only happened twice in my career as a wedding photographer, and it just so happens that at both times it happened this year. I'm actively working a wedding, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom. And I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Either time. go to the bathroom, sit down, full period. Sorry if you're a man listening to this. I'm not sorry because we as women experience this on a monthly basis.
You've got to have women in your life.
Literally. And you were born out of a vagina.
When I read your message,
Yeah, you thought I just had my period.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, girl. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
that makes more sense.
Got it. As I'm setting up a flat lay, I suddenly am like, oh no.
Yeah.
And luckily, because as we talked about last episode, I bring an overnight bag to every wedding.
Yeah.
I'm always amply prepared. Like I was ready.
If you want to kidnap Nikki at your wedding, she is prepared for the next 48 to 72 hours.
We're good.
She's good.
We're good. Feed me some freaking Wendy's chicken nuggets afterwards with some barbecue sauce, extra barbecue sauce. If you're listening and you plan to kidnap me, I'm good. Like I've got my toothbrush, my deodorant, some dry shampoo, a change of underwear,
So funny.
Feminine hygiene products, clearly. So yeah, I'm sitting there, and of course, of all things, as the rain is coming and going and coming and going, my period is not going. It's here.
Yeah.
And it's here to stay. And so that's how I started my day on Saturday. And like I said, this is only the second time that I've started my period at a wedding. The other time was at Claudia and Tom's wedding. Hey, Claudia and Tom, if you're listening to this, got me period at your wedding. Very different, though, because I kind of was like, okay, I was wearing black. I wasn't wearing black this time. I was wearing a, beige and brown outfit, and had something happen where I wasn't prepared, you would have known that I got it. And so that's mortifying.
In your 72-hour bag, did you have tampons or did you have to do the toilet paper
I have
wrap?
tampons.
Nice.
I have tampons and pads. Personally, I'm not a tampon girl usually. I am a flex disc. If anybody knows what that is, it's better for the environment. It's better for your body.
Yeah.
You don't have to use a tampon with it. You can keep it in. It lasts all day. And I notice my overall health when I'm on my period feels very different and way better than using tampons.
Yeah.
I'm plugging that shit up.
I've never done the flex disc, but I have in the last couple months tried to
I'm not doing a Diva Cup.
Use a
tampon.
tampon.
You're a free bleeder.
And I mean, not just straight into my undies, but I'll put a pad on, which, by the way, not a fan.
I love pads.
Here's my thing. It just makes me feel like I have a diaper on.
I wore a diaper the other day. I couldn't find any pads. You know what I did? I went into my 90-year-old grandfather's bedroom, and I said,
this to go to bed at night?
I said, surely this man has a pad.
Yeah.
He has a pad.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a full diaper, but this motherfucker was huge because it's for women who piss themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And, I said, I'm not peeing.
Yeah.
But I am bleeding.
But I need something.
I need something.
I will say, for the ladies out there listening, I would try it because my cramps have not been like they were using tampons.
Huge difference. Tampons are not good for us.
Yeah.
Even if you're using the organic,
yeah,
whatever ones. But if you're not, it's especially not good for you. And to think for the first 29 years of my life, I mean, I guess not the
I was
full.
Wow.
No,
I was like, when did you get your period? Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? But yeah, the only reason I was accustomed to using a flex disc too, I will say, is that when I was on birth control, I used a NuvaRing. And what that is, it's like a little hairband looking thing. It's super small, and you just insert it right behind your cervix, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what you do with a flex disc. And I love them.
Yeah.
Some flex discs come with a little string that you can pull out easily, but they're, better for the environment, better for your body. Anyway, let's get off this women's health.
Period talk.
Yeah, because we're just being,
It is what it is. I don't know of many men who listen to the show, but again, if you do, I'm sure you have some women in your life. It's good to know their plights.
It is good.
Yeah.
And you should know and be aware. Anyway, that was Saturday, which was, great.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
We made
make
it
the
through.
best out of it. You work, you live. The Vikings played on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Monday. And so we had our client meeting on Monday. Shout out to Hayden and Kirby. We met with them. And then I think we were all ready to watch the game.
I think 3 out of 4 of us were so ready to leave that table.
Megan was not ready to watch the game. But Craig was in Champlain. We decided a while ago that we would go watch it at Willie McCoy's, a bar. Which, by the way, I told my friend, I was like, yeah, we were just watching the game at Willie McCoy's. And my friend goes, who's Willie McCoy? She was like, who's Willie McCoy? Do I know him? And I'm like, no, you do not know Willie McCoy. But we went and watched the game for a little bit, watched the first half at Willie McCoy's, and then went home. And before I even got home, one of my childhood best friends is in town visiting from Chicago for a wedding that I'm shooting tomorrow. Oh, nice. So she's going to be there. Her husband is a groomsman. I thought you were holding a baby monitor for a second. The way your phone is set up on your lap looks like a baby monitor. And I was like, what are we doing?
I adopted one. It's in the basement. I keep him there.
That's okay. So anyway, she was out watching the game with a couple of our other friends from high school, and they were like, you should come. And I said, yes, I should on a Monday night. Let me just go do this. So we're watching the game, and when I get there, I realize my friends are far more intoxicated than I am. And they were like, yeah, can you drive me home after? And I was like, obviously, of course. We're like 5 minutes from your home. And then, I love her family, so I can see her family because she's staying at her family home. She doesn't live here. And then my other friend lives in Lakeville. And she didn't say, can you drive me home? Of course, that would be obscene. But she was like, can I sleep over at your house to my friend who's visiting? Actually, my friend offered in her drunkenness. And then I was like, well, you guys are going to need somebody to drive you to your cars at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So why don't I sleep over too?
Cute.
So we had an adult sleepover, the 3 of us. We went back to her house, finished a whole bottle of wine, finished the game, went to bed at 12:30, woke up at 5:45. She has a 11-month-old, mind you, who's there sleeping. So we were just whispering, giggling, girls. And it was so funny driving to her house, her parents' house. She's calling them like, hey, Nikki's driving me home. Is it okay if Nikki and Alyssa sleep over in the basement? And I'm like,
did you feel like you were teenagers?
We are back in high school.
That's fun.
And her stepdad was like, are you serious? Like, no, her mom was like, seriously? And she's like, yeah, we'll be really quiet. Like, we'll leave early, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're children again. But it was the greatest time. Woke up at 5:30 a.m. to the baby.
I was going to say.
He was so happy. He remembered Auntie Liz and Auntie Nick like right away and was like, we had the greatest morning. I was like, this is how I want to wake up every morning. But then I proceeded the next day to go on a nice walk with a coworker from the hospital, and then did a working coffee day with Grace, and then just got work done. What was that? Tuesday? What's today? Thursday?
Thursday. I know. I don't know what day of the week it is most of the time.
I had a hospital shift yesterday, and then I went home and slept. But on, was it Tuesday? I don't remember what day, maybe last week, I worked with Nicole the Bride Kick. Have you heard of her? She's a wedding planner. She also does she officiates weddings as well. Hang on, I gotta crack my neck.
Yeah, crack that neck. Oh my gosh.
That was a big boy. But one of her like wedding day assistants is a dressmaker, and she reached out to me and was like, hey, are you available? Like, I have a last minute need to get this dress photographed. I found the perfect model, blah, 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 blah. And it was one of those days where we were supposed to shoot outside. And of course it started raining, but shout out to Amy at Urban Daisy. They work in the same building. And so she allowed us to use her space to get some photos done. And this dress was immaculate. It was like this like Victorian, Baroque, like Beautiful.
I saw these photos. I
Yes.
loved these photos.
Thank you.
Like, I loved these photos.
Me too.
It's not often, and this is not about you, but like, it's not often that a photo stops me in my tracks. Like, we see photos all the time.
And we're so, and like, it's our job to just be like,
yeah, that's a nice
okay,
photo.
that's a photo.
But there was one photo specifically, I can't remember which one, that literally stopped me in my tracks. And I went, Nicole.
I posted on my personal story. I was like, I think I might have just taken my favorite and possibly my best photos of my photo career.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
stunning.
I am so dramatic. But I truly felt that way too. When I edited these, I mean, even upon taking them, I was like, we're making some magic.
Yeah.
And then when I popped them into my computer and I edited maybe 5, I stopped. And I think I know which one you're talking about. And I just was like, holy shit.
Yeah. And those are the moments in our career where you go like, I'm clearly doing the right thing.
Holy shit.
We don't feel like this every day, but when you do feel like that, you're like, yeah.
It was such a moment of like, also as wedding photographers specifically, we do not always get to really be expressively creative. We have a very consistent flow when it comes to wedding days, and we adjust it accordingly to each couple. However, this was a moment where it was like, there is nothing boxing me in or holding me back. Like, the dressmaker Tess, shout out to Tess at Tess the Empress on Instagram. She has all of her dresses and stuff on there. They're incredible. But she looked at me and was like, do whatever you want. Like, you have creative freedom, and it is not every day that we as creatives get to do that. And so just having the ability to do that just felt really, really good, and just very like amazing to be able to do and create. And it was like a very great moment.
like, this photo is so beautiful.
Thank you.
This photo is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Like, this,
I'm just like,
Amy is smart
even
by letting you guys come through.
Even in black and white.
Yeah.
And this is not my typical black and white edit.
But it feeds
It fits
into
the vibe.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm like, wait, are we shooting editorial for Vogue right now? Who are we?
Obsessed.
Who are we?
Obsessed.
The lines, the composition. And this, yes. I don't know how. It was a moment where I shocketh myself.
And I have questions about that photo, but I'm going to ask them off the pod. And I'm going to be honest. Because community over competition, in my opinion, only goes so far. We're friends.
Thank you.
We're community.
Yes. We are.
People listening who don't give a shit about me at all. No, I'm just kidding. For our listeners, we love you.
We'll chat more about it because it's hard to know what we're talking about without seeing it.
That's very
it's
true.
not an easy thing just to be like, yes, and then this photo, So, but additionally, I am prepping for my High Rocks competition. I signed up for another one in November. I think we talked about this. What I did on Saturday is probably the most diabolical thing that I'll ever do on a wedding day and will never do again. I woke up at 6 a.m. I trained before my wedding, my 10-hour wedding day. I probably induced my period.
Maybe.
From this hour-and-a-half workout that was so hard. I thought I was going to faint. I started seeing stars mid-workout, and then I really had to gather myself, collect myself, because my partner that I'm doing the competition with this year was there, and my partner that I did it with last year was there, or I guess in February, was there. I wanted to escape into another universe and never return, never to be seen again. It was really tough. And then I went home, showered, ate, composed myself. You know, I had packed my bag the day before, so that wasn't an issue. But I couldn't wash my hair. I couldn't raise my arms to wash my hair.
I was like, on wedding days, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah. So I'm not ever doing that again. But anyway, that's my update. And I would highly recommend that you do not do that if you are
Nick, you don't have to worry about me doing that on a regular day.
No, this is for the listener.
Oh, that's fair.
The message is for the listener. I didn't.
Adam, when I told Adam that you had another High Rocks competition, he's like, "Oh, are you going to do it?" And I said, "I'd rather die. Which is funny.
He should do it.
He should do it. But even after losing 70, 80 pounds, which
is insane, by the way.
It's insane. I even sent you that photo of me from Hawaii, or a screen clipping of some of our Super 8 footage where I was like, and it is funny how much more light on my feet. Like when I was playing tennis, I was running laps.
Yeah.
Just because I felt energy to do so. I was like, okay, you're going to do a whole set and then and I was doing the drills that we used to do in tennis. So you run straight for one side of the court, and then you run straight, and then you have to run backwards and work on your calves and whatever. And I remember I was like, 70 pounds ago, you wouldn't have caught me on this court, let alone running just to keep my heart rate going up. But the idea of doing a competition like that is just not in my immediate or near future.
And mind you, so my partner last year, you met him, Matt. He is this little buff, athletic, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's an athlete. That's what I'll say. He's an athlete. He's
sweet as
built,
pie too.
He is high endurance. He can run. He kicks ass. He can lift like crazy. He is an athlete to his core. My partner this year, 11 years younger than me, 22-year-old.
Yeah.
But
athlete or just
she's athletic.
Okay.
She's athletic. She works out. She does. I mean, Matt, when I'm talking about him, he's an athlete.
Yeah.
You look at him and you go, that guy clearly grew up playing sports, is active on a daily basis. He looks like an athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
And my point in saying this is my partner this year is 10 years younger than me. Clearly, she's going to have more endurance and stamina.
Just naturally.
Yes, naturally. Because you're 10 years younger than me and you're not tired.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired all of the time. So yeah, I need to get my shit together here and work out. But anyway.
It's gonna be great. Really quick before you go to the story, I did forget to share something that I want to put out into the universe because I'm trying to speak on it as much as possible for the future.
Okay.
But Adam and I started color grading actual digital footage.
Yes.
And trying to get videography is just, to me, that means something so specific.
Right.
Which I don't. That's not what we're going for. But putting out there that Adam and I are going to be offering those home video services of wedding days that will do Super 8. We also have a 16 millimeter film camera ordered, camcorder, and then some digital footage as well. Digital was really made me nervous because I wanted it to look a certain way. And we've been working really hard at figuring out how to make it look natural, but kind of filmy, not film, but kind of, so it's not so drastically different than a Super 8 or 16 millimeter film camera. So I'm just trying to speak on it that is something we are offering either on top of my photography services, us together, or I'm offering that solo on days that I don't already have a photo booking, just doing video, but it's just different than wedding films that you normally see with
it's
the
very
slow-mo.
niche. It's a different niche. It's not a cinematic wedding recap video or a full wedding film. It's a very niche, more
definitely more nostalgic look back at your day. Yeah.
Yes.
So trying to throw that out there. I'll try to
that.
share as many examples as I can on the Instagram, and I have on my actual website, I've put, along with my photo collage, I've put
some clips.
Yeah, some little clippies and stuff.
Love that.
But yeah, trying to speak on that because I feel like Louis Photo is going to be Louis Photo and Film.
Very cool.
But how funny is this? This is actually one thing I wanted to talk to you personally about, but we can talk about it on the pod. I think about 4 or 5 years ago, before I posted or before I created Louis Photography Instagram, I literally was shaking. I was like, this is really cringy. The fact that I'm going to do this, people that I know are going to see this and they're going to see me be bad at something and they're going to see, you know, whatever. And who knows if it'll actually work out. This might just be another thing that Megan does, that she starts and then stops because she doesn't like it. And, you know, 4 or 5 years later, what Louis has become is phenomenal. I thought the same thing before I posted that video. Number one, I posted myself looking insane, but it was the only clips that I had. I literally had just gotten done shooting. Adam and I got home and he was playing with the camera and we were in the yard with the dogs and he took some clips, and being able to color grade them, how I actually looked at the video and went, I like this. Like, I like the colors of this. I was like, I'm going to post it and I'm going to put out into the universe that like Louis photo might be Louis photo and film with Adam and I, but I was shaking before. Oh, it's on my reels. It's just, I didn't have a cover. But I just was like, this is embarrassing. And I had to think like, no, it's not embarrassing. It's one step in.
Oh, sorry. That's just me playing it.
You're good.
Oh God.
But it just, I don't know. It's funny that no matter how like maybe well you might be doing in one piece of life, that you can just feel like an idiot all over again when you start to do something new.
But that's good. Like, I think it's good to be nervous and to have, because that just means that you care, and that means that it's really important to you and that you really want it to be something successful, not just for you and for Adam, but for the couples who are hiring you for the service. So I think that's like such a good feeling to have, opposed to being like, yeah, we fucking got this, and then you get into it and you're way in over your head and you're like, man, what were we thinking? Like, I think it's way better to go into something a little bit, you know, trepidatious and feeling like,
and we're definitely trepidatiously charging. Like the way that I know that there are people who offer this same type of video, but they charge $10,000-$15,000, which good on them.
They've also been doing it for years.
So I'm like, no, we're coming into the game. We're definitely not at the caliber close to those people. We're charging barely anything. But number one, it's fun that Adam and I get to work together. Number two, it's good experience for us both to get. And I like being able to show video and photo. And yeah. And you know what's funny though? Someone said this to me. Actually, multiple people have said this to me. They're like, oh yeah, like you and Adam working together. People love husband and wife teams. That's such a good idea. I don't.
I don't either.
Now, let me say this. Maybe that's just because my experience. I've like had an experience where I was like, y'all are fucking rude to each other. And I don't understand how you think this is a good look. So I've always had it in my head that like husband and wife teams are not, or let's broaden that, partners, like significant others, not the best.
Even family.
Yeah, I'm like not the best to look. But I will say Adam and I worked together for about a decade before we got together.
Sure.
And to see us on wedding days, I was even nervous. I was like, am I going to be annoyed with this motherfucker all day? Like, am I going to be snapping at him? Because it's just, unfortunately, it's more natural to snap at those you love than random strangers. And I was shocked. We've had like 3 weddings together at this point. And when I move, he moved. Like, it feels like a unit and it feels so natural, and he's getting good at realizing like what I need in the moment and just doing it, or at least saying like, hey, do you want me to do XYZ? And I'm very lucky. I feel good about it, and that's where that's at. So I just want to create films that I'm proud of, or I want us to create films that we're proud of. And I think that's where I have been hesitant about all of this, because like you said, I don't want to just like jump into this like I'm so good at this.
Right. It takes time, and a lot of our job as creatives is kind of figured out and found out through trial and error, which sounds horrible and shitty, but it's also a lot of time and commitment that you're pouring into learning, so you have less trial and error and more, success. And so I think it's awesome. Also, I said that I don't love couples teams either, which I've worked with some amazing couples. I mean it for me, like personally. Like, shout out to Chris and Janessa. Love you guys. We did a wedding with them in the Dominican a few years ago, video team, and I was like, or photo video actually, they do both, but I was like, okay, you guys are cool.
Is Voyager, I met a couple who I really liked.
Rudy and Kaya.
Yeah.
That's Voyager Motion
Yes.
Films. I love
Very
them.
nice.
I worked one of my first weddings with them. They were amazing. That was a big multicultural wedding for a few days. And so I got to spend time with them too.
Yeah.
So there are couples in this industry who are very successful and good at their jobs and absolutely crush it as a team. So I'm excited for you and Adam to, hopefully be one of those couples.
Same.
All right, let's jump into this week's submission. Can we talk about how much is too much when it comes up to cleaning the background for our clients? I always do my best to remove distracting elements like light switches, vents, and even outlets. But I've had a few situations recently where I'm having to remove extension cords, ugly metal fans, patches in brick, wrinkles on tablecloths, etc. And I don't know if I'm being too picky and hyper focusing on these things. But at what point is it not my job? Like, sorry, the venue just isn't the cutest. I do my best to notice in the moment and try to avoid details I know I'll want to edit out later. But sometimes there is just no way around it. Like when there's literally a fire alarm above the bride's head. Cheers. So when is too much, or when are we not doing enough, or where is the line drawn when it comes to editing out stuff in the background? And I just saw Cassidy Lynn, that girl, she just posted on her story how much she hates sand dunes and beaches because of the footprints.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm editing out so many footprints. And I think that goes to say you need to price yourself accordingly.
Yeah.
Because if you're putting yourself in positions where you are at the level of editing that you can go through and elevate these images for your clients, because that's what you're doing. You're elevating the image. The image is still beautiful with all of the distracting stuff because at the end of the day, like, they are the focal point and the focus. If you are at the point in your career where you're able to elevate these images to such a point where you can remove all of this stuff, then your price should reflect that.
And I want, think about it. If you're someone listening and you're not a wedding vendor, I want you to think about it like this. Let's say I have 1,000 photo gallery and at least 500 of the photos need something AI removed.
Yep.
That's going to take about 60 seconds on average or more. So that's an extra 500 minutes.
Yep.
That I am taking to remove things out of your photos.
Yep.
And mind you, that used to not be a thing. Like yes, they were coloring them and the lighting and the exposure and whatever.
We were figuring it out in Photoshop, which took even longer.
Yeah, even longer if you could figure it out. And or you think back in the day when there was not this was film. You weren't editing shit out at all.
You can't.
And I'm like, we've gotten to a point where people are expecting sometimes their backgrounds to look like the backgrounds didn't actually look. And I agree with you that price yourself accordingly because that might take an extra, 5 to 10 hours per gallery just to edit shit out. Like we just talked about earlier in this episode, Adam is doing that piece. It's a full-time fucking job. And it's funny, we were just talking about this yesterday with Tim at the Whim where we were talking about Adam doing this and I went, how was I doing this myself before? How was I doing this for 40 weddings a year? No, literally, I'm like, because he's working 8 to 10 hours a day. I'm working 8 to 10 hours a day and we're just getting these galleries done together. So
this is why I pull all-nighters. Yep. This is why I stay up and I sometimes will even start working at 10 p.m. and lock myself in because, for one, I live in a household with 4 other people and 3 dogs and 2 cats. So at 10 o'clock, everybody's going to bed or is sleeping. I know that I can successfully work from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. straight through without somebody coming and bothering me, without getting phone calls or text notifications or having anybody be active on social media. That is the time where I get the most work done. 100%. I will sit down, I will lock myself in, I will drink a Red Bull and 2 coffees and stay up from that time and then sleep most of the next day. Yeah. But I don't think people comprehend the amount of time time is one thing, but the dedication that it takes to sit and stare at your computer screen. I've seen so many people posting on their stories lately, like, my fucking eyeballs hurt.
Yeah.
The back of my eyelids are killing me.
Yeah.
Because we're staring at our screens for so long. And after a while, it gets to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
And come and look at this the next day.
And it's not the same as like, okay, when I had a corporate job and I would answer some emails or what, and then I'm up and then I'm down and I'm
charting stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the same because the work that we are trying to perfect and deliver is sitting in front of our faces for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
So when it comes to editing like this and like when is doing too much, like it really depends on the setting, I think. Here's the thing. If you're editing out light switches and vents and all of this stuff, that might be doing too much.
I don't disagree, but I will say I am like light switches, vents, exit signs
for sure, because they're bright red. If you have a white light switch that's blending into the paint of the wall,
I'm removing it.
I don't think that
I don't think it's necessary, but I'm just saying.
I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it changes the overall emotion behind the photo.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think it's just for me, when I look at the photo, I just immediately look at the light switch. It drives me insane.
If it's right over your shoulder, sure.
But what I think, the things that I leave are, and I say me, the things that I have Adam leave are like, let's say if you're looking at a venue and it's big vaulted ceilings, right? And there are chandeliers.
Yeah.
Great. But those little
can lights,
flat lights, remove them. Yeah. And I'm not saying, and even if they're off, I just hate these like speckled white lights.
It's distracting.
I don't like it. But what ends up happening sometimes is I'll go so ham on sneaks, on like removing things in sneaks. And then I get to your ceremony space and for 120 photos, it's the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm like, why am I removing these? And then I start thinking, like you had said earlier, where I'm like, it doesn't take anything away from the photo. It's not incredibly distracting. It's just like something I don't like, but now I have to remove it for 120 photos. So, I do think though, red, green exit signs.
Well, yeah.
Gotta go. I don't care what you're charging.
Ooh.
You gotta take those out.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's
really situational. I mean, if you're taking photos in a park or on a bridge or on a city street with hundreds and hundreds of people behind, that's also a choice. Like, you gotta figure that out of like, do you want to position your couple here knowing later that you are going to have to edit the photo? I recently did an engagement session and they were crossing the street. Now, in the back of the photo, there's a massive bus, a city bus. That is a wild distraction because it's blue, white, and yellow. Okay. And it's big. That I'm editing out. However, in one of their photos, there's a red car that was passing by, and it actually really added more of a natural, like, just candid vibe and element to the photo. And I'm like, I'm not editing out this red car. So it really just depends on the situation. It is very situational. Like, I'm editing out the big city bus because it's wildly distracting, while the red car actually, in my opinion, added an element of like casual, candid, documentary vibe to the photograph that really, in my opinion, elevated it.
And I think we've maybe talked about this before, but right now, sometimes we see these distractions, like you said, the car, someone could see it as a distraction. We see it that way because it's present and it's current for us. 50 years from now, when you look back at that photo, I bet you'll look at that car and be like, look at that vintage car.
I love it.
We sometimes forget, or like, I love getting pictures of people at weddings on their cell phones taking a picture of a group or something. Because I'm like, number one, I just think this is cute that your Aunt Sally just loves to take these pictures. Number two, I cannot wait to see what technology looks like in 50 years. We think that it's going to look similar to what it looks like now, but we have no idea 50 years from now what this world's going to look like. We'll see if it's even here anymore. But
question for you.
Yes.
when you deliver film photos, are you editing out exit signs and, light switches and all of that stuff?
I think it depends. If it's like a dance floor shot, no.
Sure.
I'm not going through and really editing those. If it is something like portraiture of the couple, I am probably going through and bringing them into Lightroom no matter what, just to do like my fine tunes. Also, when I scan my film in, I scan it in on my medium format digital camera, and my file sizes are 102 megapixels per image. So I don't want to upload those to QuickTime. So I put them into Lightroom. That way I can re-export them at a little bit lower of a res. Sure. Or not res really, but file size. So if I have them in there already, I'm making some tweaks and I'm probably editing them out.
Okay.
I just can't even think about the last time I did that. So I don't want to speak
just
on
curious.
it, but
like
I would. Like if I saw a red sign behind someone, I would probably take
a red
it out.
sign is such a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. But I just, you had said like film when people were strictly shooting on film and like we didn't have the technologies. It just wasn't an option for people to do that, which it is great that we do have the option now because holy shit, a lot of the times we need the option to do that. I was just curious if that was ever like a thing that people do.
And I need people to know that often when you see people, their film photographs on TikTok, they are edited.
Yeah.
Those are not out of camera. And that took me a while to understand or like find out that when I was looking at my film photos being like, why don't they look like this person? But
here's why.
They have edited those. Those are not out of camera.
And it's a whole process. A lot of the times when you see those photos, it's people who are doing the work themselves, who are processing themselves, who are like, I'm not that person. Yeah. I take it to Fast Photo and I'm like, hey, send me an email with a Dropbox link. I don't know.
And they're so fast. Shout out Fast Photo.
Yeah, shout out Fast Photo. It's in the name. But yeah, I guess like when it comes to the question of how much is too much,
to me it's just whatever you're willing to accept for yourself. But I also think long term in the gallery. If you do it for one photo, you're gonna have to do it for all photos typically. So like pick your battles.
I think it's hard though too because like our natural answer for the both of us would be to say nothing is ever too much for a client. Like 100%. It's not too much to do that. But as a creative, as a professional, like you also have to think outside of the editing and the AI of it all and like use your creative brain. And I'm not saying this person is not. Remove them from situations that have the, possibility to have these distractions in the back. If you have a getting ready room on a wedding day where the bridesmaids have their shit scattered everywhere, remove the bride from the room, make sure the groom is tucked away, take her out into a hallway with a nice big window and utilize that space instead. Like there are things that we have to do as creatives to create opportunity where we are not using AI as a tool to fix everything all of the time. Not only does it create an immense amount of work on us in the end, like in editing time, but it also is an opportunity for us to get like a little more creative. Now, that's not always an option. I experienced this on Saturday. I didn't have the option with the weather and the venue that I was in to be able to do these things that I wanted to do. It simply was not an option. So I had to work with what I had and make it work. And is it going to cost me more time in the long run in editing? 100%. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And
I will say where I think it's crazy is when I do see a photo on like a high-end photographer or planner's Instagram and I know whoever took it charges like minimum 10 grand, which again, you get your bag. Like get your bag. But then I see like a red neon exit sign and I go, crazy. Why? What? Like that's the one thing that I would remove from a photo and someone who's charging a solid chunk of change doesn't even remove it.
However.
But then you think though and you go, well, maybe we are doing too much. Maybe some people don't give a shit.
That's so what I was going to say is literally, I've said this to you when talking about stuff too. People don't the average eye does not look at an
Yeah.
image the way that a photographer might or a planner might who is in the event space or the wedding industry. The average person looking at these images who get these galleries back are people who are simply looking to relive their day and see the emotions behind the photo. Not everybody is drawn to that the way that we are, because our brains are so trained now, because we do this job week after week after week after week, and we edit day after day after day after day for hours on end. The average person isn't drawn to the exit sign or the light switch or the cam lights, like
especially if it's not like a hero image.
Exactly.
Like I was thinking about this the other day. I just a photo that it was the bride was just like walking away at the reception, and like I don't know, it was a cool vibey film shot or direct flash shot, and I was removing the exit sign, and now I think about it and I go, it's not like she's posting that one. She's not printing that one.
No.
She's not, like, nothing is going to be done with that photo. It's just like a storytelling shot. Why am I removing things from it?
So that would be a case of doing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really just depends.
But then it's also so nerve-wracking, like you said earlier, nothing's too much for our couples.
I know.
I'd rather remove it than have someone get a gallery and be like, this looks messy.
Well, they can ask.
I know, but
again, not everybody looks at stuff the way that we do. And so I think like what we are doing is we're setting the tone with the work that we already create and present. We are setting the tone to our couples, to our future couples and clients by putting our work out there as it is. That's what people will expect to get back.
Yeah.
So if you're putting out there photos with no exit signs and with no light switches and blah, 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 people, that's what they will expect when they get their gallery back. But at the end of the day, is that what they're hiring you for? Is that what they are noticing in your imagery straight off the bat? Like, it's really hard to know and to decipher. And
because what are you going to ask? Like, did you notice I didn't have exit signs? Were you interested by the clean image, or did you not even notice? You just loved that couple was laughing together, and that's what drew you to the image. It's funny, speaking about setting the tone, and I don't know if it's hard to decipher for me to remember if we've talked about things on or off the pod, but because we talk, number one, we have conversations going in TikTok, text message, Instagram. Sometimes we'll call, sometimes we'll FaceTime, and then we have podcast conversations. Yep. So if anything's ever repetitive, you guys, I don't care.
It's unintentional.
Because I don't remember.
Yeah.
But setting the tone of like, okay, people are seeing these 1,000 image galleries from me, and I go, I'd really love to figure out, will someone be just as happy with 500 stellar images versus 1,000 and 500 of them are quote unquote filler? But they're not, to me, they're not filler. Like, I'm not putting shit in your gallery that's like nothing.
Yeah.
But it's your guest candids. It's your, detail photos.
It completes it to us. It rounds it out to us.
But then I go,
very complete.
Will they feel like they're lacking if they only get the 500? Will vendors be like, hey, I'd love a couple detail photos? Like, I sit there and I go, 1,000 photos is so many to edit. And I've heard a photographer saying like, I only deliver like 300 to 500 for a wedding day. But I'm also like, okay, I'm not giving you in 1,000 photos, and I'm not lying. Like, you guys can pick apart my galleries. I'm not giving you images that look very similar.
Repetitive.
Like, not a chance. I can still, for a 10-hour wedding day, I can still typically give you 1,000 images if you had like a bridal party and decent amount of family photos that are all relatively different. Yeah. And I even would have a hard time paring it down further, but I go, this is taking me so much time to edit this amount of photos.
I agree.
Especially because I promise on average 60 per hour. Yep. So it's like, I am promising 600 images. I'm delivering, let's say 1,100. So I'm almost doubling the gallery. Am I doing a disservice to my clients by giving them images that they'll never even use for the sake of telling the story in my mind? Or am I doing what I should be doing as someone who charges a decent amount? I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I think the other thing that I've mentioned, and not on the pod, and I don't even know if I should say this, but people don't know what they don't know. And so a lot of the time, this is the first time that somebody is getting married.
Yeah.
And so they've never received a wedding gallery before. So to them, if you deliver 1,000 images, that's going to be normal.
Yeah.
If you deliver 600 images, that's also going to be normal to them because they don't know the difference, especially if they are not a wedding professional.
Yeah.
They don't know that, oh, on average you deliver 1,100 to a client, but they just got 600. Like, people don't know what they don't know. Same with the light switches. They might not see that as a norm.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not presenting it as a norm.
I just feel like, though, we live in such a different world. Like, when my parents got married, they
got 30 photos back in a photo album.
Literally in a photo album. So it's like, oh yeah, people are looking at that, but I feel like
cherish them and love them, and those are the photos that are framed at other people's weddings and are put on the shelf. And
now, though, people, I do feel like, especially like in these friend groups, they're sharing these galleries. Like, people see other people's galleries, and I don't know. At the end of the day, all I can say, there's Dr. Seuss over here, I love my galleries.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do wonder, like, am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Like, it's a never ending bullshit in your head.
Yeah.
But all I care about is when I look at a gallery of mine that I'm delivering, am I proud of what I delivered? And do I like how it was set up? Like, people do things differently all the time. I could not deliver a gallery that's in chronological order.
I don't like it.
It would freak me out looking at it. So I'm like, I will categorize it, but I will mix it up. Like, I want it to look like a collage of your day and just all this stuff. So everyone does things differently, but I'm just like, I like what I produced, and hopefully my couples like it as well.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I didn't think I was going to talk about this on the pod, but I will. I have been hearing a lot of people like, oh, things are slow, la, 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 la. And I'm like, shut up, girl.
Yeah,
girl.
I know.
Things are slow. This is
Yeah.
the first time in a long time that my chest has actually been tight of thinking like, what the fuck is happening right now? It is slow.
Yeah.
And it's not just slow for like big, thick 5-figure bookings. It's slow for anything. Or I'll put like on my contact form, I'm totally pivoting from, hopefully we answered your question because this was a submission directly.
And we do talk about it.
I feel like we talked about it a lot. But on my contact form, because I see all these videos on TikTok that are like, as a wedding vendor, why don't you put your prices on your website? La 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 la. I put it not only on my website, on my contact form. It says like, couples can expect to spend on average X to X.
Yeah.
What's your budget? Just so like I know where we're starting at. And they'll put half of what I start at. And they're still submitting the thing. And I go, okay, where's the disconnect? Because like, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to waste my time. But inquiries are way, way low.
Yeah.
People, obviously, they're maybe just are not wanting to spend as much on a wedding, which I totally understand. I'm eloping.
Yep.
I totally understand that, like firsthand. I don't know.
I think here's what I will say about this. Our world is in a very, I feel like our world has been crazier. It has been crazier, but.
Not wedding, by the way.
No. Just the world in general.
Yeah.
We are living in a time that is very difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Financially especially.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like weddings in general are going to take a dip.
Yeah.
But things always ebb and flow. So like right now we might be in a lull, but that's not to say that it will always be this way.
Yeah.
Just like with COVID. Like I think there was just such a resurgence of like needing wedding vendors immediately after COVID because everybody wanted to get married for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
People
so
were
finally we can.
really popping off with the weddings.
Mm-hmm.
It started in 2022. I think they said there were more weddings in 2022 than we've seen in ages.
Yeah.
And from then to now, it's kind of started to trickle out.
Yeah.
Where people are like, okay, We did it. Everybody did it at once.
I think that's such a good point because my first year was 2022 or my first year of like working weddings that I booked myself. So I'm just used to working 40 a year.
It ebbs and flows.
And now I'm like, okay.
And right now we're in an ebb or a flow.
I'm
on a flow.
I will say people who are like, oh, wedding or booking seasons in the winter, that's never been true for me.
Interesting.
My booking season's always been in the summer. Booking either a year, sometimes 2 out, rarely, but sometimes, but like at least a full year, maybe a year and a couple months. But I have been hearing a lot from planners on like the younger, when I say younger, I mean like 25, not young, but younger generation. Like they're not booking things a year and a half in advance, like maybe 6 to 8 months in advance, whatever. So I'll be very interested to see how the winter goes, how the spring goes.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there. You guys might see me at your local Starbucks slinging
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
drinks.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I told Adam, I said, we need to get part-time jobs for companies that we want to, like, he needs to get a part-time job at Delta. I'll get one at, like, Marriott. So we fly for free and we stay for free.
That's a great idea.
Wouldn't that be a great idea?
That's a great idea.
But the idea of, like, hey, I need to be off this Friday for a wedding. No. Okay, I was telling you. I wasn't asking you.
Yeah, if you don't have the flexibility to do that. So, like, for me with the hospital, I still work casual just so I can pick up for friends. But they are really, for the last 2 years, actually, they've really wanted me to come back. They just ask me all the time. And I say, no.
Yeah.
I cannot. Especially because there's rotating weekends. And my coworkers are like, we'll work the weekends for you. Like, you won't even have to work any weekends. And I'm like, well, if you're giving me flexibility and I'm able to choose, mind you, it would be 1 to 2 days a week. If I'm able to choose 1 to 2 days a week what day I work and at what time, why wouldn't I just, occasionally 100%. Pick up here and there? Yeah. So you might catch me at your local North Memorial.
There you go.
Just kidding. Redact that. I don't want anybody knowing where I work. I'm kidding. You wouldn't be able to find me anyway. And trust me, you don't want to come to North Memorial.
I was going to say, even if you work at the hospital, you could probably barely find where you're supposed to go.
There's no reason for you to be there unless you're getting a colonoscopy.
Anytime I go to a hospital, I literally laugh in my head and go, how do employees even find where they're supposed to go?
It's like, when you start high school. Well, I don't know how big your high school was. My high school, I had 1,000 kids in my grade alone.
That should be illegal.
Yes. So like when my first day, I kind of remember this very well. Like your first day of high school and you don't know where to go. Yes, you did the orientation and you walk through and you do, the open house and everything. It's not the same as your first day and having to like figure out where the freak you're supposed to go. Yeah. From West Wing to East Wing, from the C stairwell to the A stairwell, from like 4th floor to 1st floor, from the cafeteria to the gym. It's insane. And so it's the same, very similar at the hospital where you're like, okay, where do I go? But then you figure it out and you're like, okay, I know this place like the back of my hand and I can go anywhere. I get lost now because I'm never there. I'm like, I don't ask me for anything.
My high school, by the way, was 7 through 12. Which, by the way, when you're a 7th grader walking next to 12th graders,
that's crazy.
You literally
that should be illegal.
They look like giants.
That should be illegal.
Well, it should, because also you run into situations where like 9th graders are hanging out at senior parties.
Exactly.
And typically it's 9th grade girls hanging out at senior, and getting diddled. But anyways, I had 79 people, I think, in my class. So let's say 100 on average.
79?
So let's say on average 100 per grade.
How many people came to my fucking high school reunion?
I think 7 would come to mine. Maybe. But so that means total the school maybe had 700 people in it for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for 6 grades.
13. Grade 13.
I had grade 13.
That's crazy.
I loved it, though. I loved it. But I also hated it because, like, not only do you know each other, you know your siblings, you know everybody's fucking parents and grandparents, because Aunt Carol, who, is the para, is actually someone's literal grandma. So it's like,
well, here's the thing. You can also just be a crazy girl in high school.
And people
and
still remember you.
Still remember you.
Mhm.
11 years
Hashtag
later.
psychosolis.
Hashtag.
You need to get that as a tattoo. A tattoo.
Absolutely not branding myself.
I love it. That's your name in my phone now.
No, thank you. And
wish
for those of you who don't know the story, Meg and I shot a wedding. I did not recognize any of these boys. I was second shooting for her with the groomsmen. I'm in the room, and one of them goes, "Did you go to Wayzata High School?" And I said, "Yes, I did."
I would have lied
Yes,
through
I
my
did.
teeth.
Meg was like, "They have no idea who you are. These boys don't know you." And they went up to her later and they said, "Is that Nikki Solis?" This is 11, 12, how many years? 2011. What? How many years is that? 13,
It's a lot.
14? I don't know. I don't do math, but
You left an impression.
years. Years. And I don't think I've ever had a full conversation with any of these boys ever in my life. So the fact that they knew me and remembered me in a school of 4,000
I was going to say, in that many people,
is disturbing.
I love it. I wish I knew you back then. I don't know if we would have been friends, but I wish I would have known you.
I don't know.
I think you would have been, if I could like put a not a label, but like if I could make an assumption, I think you would have been the girl that I was like kind of scared of, but like that I thought was cool. And
100%.
I would have been like, no, she's cool. Like, don't talk
But she's also
shit.
insane.
Yeah. But I like that.
But she's crazy.
Yeah. I think that's good though.
And you know, I'm just going to put this out there. I am not like that anymore. Just so you all know.
Yeah.
I'm a very normal, calm, chill, tame girl.
I don't know about that, but
What about that is untrue?
I don't know if you're normal.
Okay, well, obviously, I'm sitting here at 6 a.m. recording a fucking podcast. Like, yeah,
That's
normal. True. No, I'm quirky and a little weird. I be doing weird stuff, but
I also do think you're low-key crazy, but like I feel like you and I are both crazy, but we have found ways to, I don't know, hide it a little, cope with it better.
Do you think?
I swear to God, I'm gonna jump across and choke you. Okay, let's call this out on the pod. I think that Nikki thinks I'm crazier than her. I think that Nikki has just gone through therapy.
Yes.
And she has found ways to cope with her crazy.
Well, yes.
Or like work through it.
Thank you. So that would then mean what?
Yes, but I think
we need therapy. I still need therapy. I am in therapy actively with my partner.
I probably
with
should
a therapist.
Yeah.
I cannot explain the joy this middle-aged man brings me. Not Craig. The therapist. The 60-ish-year-old therapist.
I was like, aw.
I love this man so much. I just, whenever I start therapy, I think to myself, how did I go so long again without it? It's like, I don't know what to even compare it to, but I need a therapist myself. And after starting partner therapy, I realized like, oh my gosh, yes, I am actually a little crazy. And I do want to therapize myself. And unfortunately, my therapist won't see Craig or myself individually because he sees us together.
Oh. That would be hard. I do feel like that would be hard. Yeah.
Yes, I do understand why.
Yeah.
But I like this man so much and how he works with us that I wish
his name so I can
will.
Go to him.
No, I have another friend who's like, so who's your therapist again that you guys go and see? I like him so much and how we process things with him so much that I wish that like he could be replicated for each of us.
Yeah.
Because like Craig's never really done therapy either, ever. And so for him to connect and be able to open up to somebody is like, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like, not to say Adam and I wouldn't do good at therapy. I feel like Adam's got his own issues, but he's a very logical, like level-headed person.
Yes.
Where I'm like, maybe you don't need therapy. I definitely do.
I think like emotionally though, like
Yeah.
everybody could use therapy. I
Yeah.
don't care who you are. Anybody could use therapy.
But
Like,
I just think the takeaway from this conversation that I need everyone to know is Nikki knows that she's kind of kooky, but she
kooky.
but she
That just did not sound
it didn't
good.
sound good.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
But I do think that she has it in her soul. Now, I don't think she enjoys it, but I think that she can be like, Meg's still kookier than me. And that provides some.
But, you know, I would love it if you were in therapy.
Yeah.
For you. Not for me, obviously, because it doesn't affect me. But some of these
Fair.
conversations that we have, and you're like, yeah, I need therapy. And I'm like,
I know. I think why I don't want to go to therapy is because my mom told me once, like, I should go to therapy. And the moment she
No.
said that, I was like,
okay, I can see that.
well, now I'm not
Yes,
going to go.
To spite you.
Yeah. No, I'm not
Yes.
going to go.
I can see
Maybe
that.
you should go to therapy.
Which
maybe
I don't disagree with.
Maybe if you did,
Maybe I wouldn't need therapy.
maybe I wouldn't need it. So anyways, that's all we have for
No,
you.
literally. I think my mom should go back to therapy. Monica, I know you don't listen. You should.
Monica,
if you are listening to this,
Don't worry, my mom doesn't either.
you
but for different
need
reasons.
a therapist, but you know, I love you and you're doing great and we all need therapy. What's your mom's name?
Jacqueline.
I've asked you this like 10 times.
But I call her Jay Quellen.
Jay Quellen. What's
Yeah.
that from? Like a skit.
Key
It's a
and Peele.
skit, yeah.
Where
Aaron and Jay Quellen.
Aaron.
Aaron.
It's the best shit ever.
Moral of the story, everybody needs therapy.
Yeah.
And also, I will say, you are more fun when you're a little kooky and crazy.
I do agree. I don't know if you would like me that much as a friend if I wasn't.
I don't think we'd be friends if you didn't have a little zhuzh to
Yeah.
you.
You need a little zhuzh. You need to be able to. That
You know,
keeps
keep
life
me on my
interesting.
toes.
Exactly.
Keep me wondering.
Exactly. As long as it's not like, is Megan going to stab me today? No. It's just a little like, what's Megan going to be crazy about today? I think that's why Adam loves me so much too.
100%. He'd be bored otherwise.
Bored. Anyways,
Anyway,
guys,
Thanks
so
for
much.
Thanks for that, everybody.
Thanks for joining Cocktail Hour.
We went from
I swear.
recaps to submission to
Back to the serious shit.
to God knows how we got there. Oh, you're so cute, Opie.
He's so fucking cute.
Also, guys, don't forget our first episode back with video with a new set. Mind you, I'm saying that publicly so we stick to like
getting it done.
doing it.
Yeah.
Will be Halloween episode. If
Mhm.
you have things that you want, like if you have suggestions for costumes, please submit them. We would love to hear from you.
Mind you, these outfits or these costumes, we have agreed they're not sexy. We
Or
can't come as
cute.
like cute or sexy nurses.
But the fairy one was cute.
Yeah, but I
That's
wouldn't do it like that.
cute.
I wouldn't
That
do it
was
like
so
that.
cute.
I would have.
We could also do like a theme where like we pick something and then like you're one thing from it and I'm one thing from it and we come together. I have thoughts.
I want to.
But you also want a surprise. Element of surprise.
Yeah, but I still feel like if we pick a theme, like, what's your idea of a theme? Do you have one on
Like
the top?
Austin Powers. Like,
Yeah.
you could do a theme and you're one thing from it and I'm one thing from it.
I would for sure do gold member and just put on a big fucking fat suit.
I was just going to say it's Fat Bastard.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say I would come in as Fat Bastard.
I would actually, let's be honest, I would come in as Foxy Cleopatra, Beyonce's character.
True.
Blackface and all.
No.
Just
no. But also, that's cute and sexy.
Yeah, that's
and you
true.
can't do that.
I can't do that. It has to be a serious.
Because either we're going cute and sexy or we're not.
You know who I'm going to go as? Kendra's mom. Or Kendra,
Gosh,
whoever's
you guys
mom.
have to, her name is Kendra, Lauren's mom. You guys have to watch that from Netflix documentary, Catfish, whatever.
Unknown number.
It is sick. My coworker, I was working at the hospital yesterday and she was finishing it while we were working because we don't do shit.
Yeah.
But she's a mom And she was losing her shit. She was like, how
No.
can you do this?
And here's the thing. I'm not going to say if it were less bad text that I would have been like, well, but these text messages,
suck, fuck, finger,
insane,
penis,
kill yourself or whatever.
Yes.
The most insane. If you don't know what we're talking about, Netflix, Unknown Number, go ahead, watch it. While you're at it, watch Weapons. Watch it twice. So one for Nikki.
Is that out? Like on TVs yet?
Yes,
do you know?
but I want you to watch it in the theater so I can watch you be terrified. I'm going to force feed you to an AMC.
Okay.
And
I'm okay with that.
we're going.
We should see it in Vegas.
Actually, it's not a bad idea because we're really trying to distract ourselves from like making very poor decisions. Very poor decisions. Anyway, guys, okay, I'm having a stroke. Thanks for joining this cocktail hour. Don't forget to subscribe, review the pod wherever you listen. And like Nikki said, get ready for these fucking video episodes because we're coming back with a bang.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm very excited.
It's going to be good.
The more that I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, we'll have an online presence again.
Yep.
We'll be able to really focus and
It'll be
hone in on
wintertime.
this and like make it work. So anyway, follow along with us on Instagram at cocktailhour.podcast and submit your stories and questions to the link in our bio. Everything is anonymous and we can't wait to see you next week.
Bye.